Hi everyone. In the spring of 2022, I decided to make some upgrades to my Lifetime Yukon Angler fishing kayak. And one of the things the upgrades I made was to install a Garmin Striker Plus fish locator. Now after fishing the full season with this, I realized this is probably the best investment I made in my fishing kayak last year. Anyway, if you'd like to see a video that shows all the upgrades that I made to my fishing kayak, I posted a link in the description section. Anyway, what I decided to do is do a through-the-hull mount for the transducer, and I used some duck seal, mounted the transducer in the front of the kayak under a hatch, and I also located my lithium battery to power the fish locator in a waterproof box with Velcro, and I attached that to the hull about 8-10 inches away from the transducer. Now, as far as mounting the fish locator itself, I decided to go with a rail mount or track mount system. The Lifetime Yukon Angler has 2 tracks, one on either side, just in front of the seat. So there are a lot of really great locator holders that are designed for the Striker 4. Unfortunately, they run anywhere from $30 up to $60 or $70. Now, I'm kind of a thrifty guy. My buddy would call me cheap, but anyway, I'd rather take that $60 and invest it in that 7-foot St. Croix bait casting rod I've been looking at all season, instead of a holder or a track mount for my fish locator, especially when I can make one for probably under $5. So that's what I decided to do. And just a second, I'll show you some of the parts I needed to make one. The items needed to make the fish locator holder include deck cladding, and this is a piece I bought at Menards. It's 4 inches wide and it's 3 inches thick. It's made out of a wood plastic composite, so moisture is not affected, so you don't have to worry about it warping, so it's perfect for the fishing kayak. I bought a 4 to 6 foot piece of this. It was a scrap at Menards, and I think I paid $1 for it. There was a bunch there. I wish I would have bought more, but I didn't. But it's great stuff. I've used it for a number of kayak projects. The other thing is a track nut, and this again is used to secure the fish locator holder to the track on the kayak. Now, I did not have to buy this. A few years ago, I bought a fish grip from Yak Gear, and it included a holder. And this holder included 2 of the track nuts. So I was able to use the extra one. The only thing I needed to do was buy a bolt. So the bolt is a 1/4 by 20, and I bought a 1-inch size hex bolt. And then there's little plastic caps here, and these are designed so that the hex bolt actually drops down in here. So when it drops down, then it makes it like a thumb screw. Well, it's perfect. And then a stainless steel washer as well. The other item I needed is a piece of dowel, and I had some 1/4-inch dowel here, and I just used that. And I'll show you how that works on the holder as well. But that's all the items you need. Pretty simple. Okay, this is a little closer view of the thumb screw head and the bolt. And again, this is pretty simple. Hex bolt just drops in here, and then it makes a nice thumb screw. This plastic piece and the bolt are both available at many good hardware stores. The one I have in my local hometown is called Dorn Hardware, and they carry a lot of little odd pieces like this, so it's a perfect place to scrounge for parts. Okay, this is the completed track mount, and what I did is I took that deck cladding and I cut it out so it was a little bit larger in the center here and narrower in the front, and that's so this didn't extend too far over the track on the kayak. This black plastic piece here, this came with the fish locator, and it's basically assembled or attached to this deck cladding with small stainless screws. Now you can see here, there's some holes here. The screws did extend through slightly, and all I had to do was file those off so they didn't protrude too far. And again, the nut, track nut, slides in the front, slides in the track, and then the small piece of dowel here, this basically keeps the track from rotating. Now the Garmin locks into this track mount here, and it rotates from side to side and then up and down. So it's pretty simple. And there's a small lever here that you push down, and sure it is, and the Garmin comes right off. So I leave this in the boat and I take the Garmin fish locator out every day. Now in just a second I'll show you how this works actually on the kayak itself. Pretty simple setup. As far as total investment, I believe between the thumb screw, the 1-inch, 1/4 inch by 20 hex nut, and the washer, I think I have about $3.50 invested in it. Oh, and as far as the cost of the deck cladding, I believe if you want to look at how much I used here, I probably used 10 cents worth, maybe at the most. So total investment under $4, I was able to build a track mount that works very well. This is a little bit closer view of the Garmin Striker 4 Plus mounted on my DIY track mount. As I mentioned before, the Garmin mount can be adjusted both vertically and horizontally. And the deck cladding does a nice job of really securing the fish locator on the track. The thumb screw in the back, again, can be loosened, and then you can position the fish locator anywhere along that track. As I mentioned before, there's a lever on the front of the fish locator that can be pushed down, and then the fish locator can be removed from the mount and then stored separately when you're not on the water. And again, it's easily installed back in with just snapping in place. As I mentioned previously, I decided to run the wires through the hull using a Yak Attack through the hull mount, and then I located the battery and the transducer under the hatch in the front of the kayak. Nice setup. And here's what my setup looks like inside the hatch. Out in the water, I found the Striker 4 Plus really easy to use. It was really a pleasure using it. Well, that wraps things up. If you have any questions about the fish locator track mount, please feel free to leave those in the comment section and I'll be happy to get back to you. Well, thanks for watching my video, and happy kayak fishing.